Hello, welcome gamers. As you might see here that I started typing. VR headset isn't being recognized, but it's fine. It's fine now. It happened right as I was typing this message. I was like, turned on the computer, and it was like, "Hey, your VR headset, it doesn't exist. Why are you trying to load a VR game when you have no headset?" I was like, "What the heck?" And then I like restarted Steam, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe I should update chat." I started posting VR headset isn't working, and then it worked. Anyway, but I have not opened up the windows that I need to open. I also haven't toggled all the redeems. Look, okay, these redeems. Okay, they've now been toggled. I have to go to Stream Manager. I have to pop out the window right here. Zykes redeemed something? I can't believe. Why would you do that? Pop out chat. And then resize the chat right here. And then take this window right here. And do this thing right there. And then you also have to, okay, block input. That is correct. I have in fact blocked the input. Okay, alright. So this is here now. Everything appears to be totally fine, maybe? I hope, I don't know. Anyway, let me greet people. Welcome to welcome Stream Elements, welcome Stanley, Michael, Shima Panic, Crespian C, Deffins, Zoli, Duck, Delicious Smile, and Cole, and Electro Retro. Everyone's here. Anyway, was a bit late, also because like I had a meeting that I didn't realize that I had. This meeting that occurs every 2 weeks on Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. I totally forgot. Every time it happens, I forget that it happens. And I was like, oh right, that's like right before I start my stream. So then I was like, you know, it was like 4:58 and the meeting was still going. I was like, oh god, I need to turn on my computer. I need to start the stream soon. I was a bit delayed. Welcome Arcanum Ghost. Welcome to a new chat member. Anyway, it's really hot. I don't know if anyone here can relate to this. The fact that it's what even is the weather right now? It's like really hot. 80 something Fahrenheit. It's like 30 something Celsius, right? I don't know. It's a lot. It is hot, right? So true. What's happening in society? 80s and it's like high 80s though. Anyway, of course we would have a chat member that's like, "Oh, you think that's hot? Wait till you live in this place where it's really hot." Okay, well, you know, some people have different tolerances. Different regions have different things. You know, if you ever say something's hot, someone's gonna be like, "That's not that hot. I live in freaking Arizona and it's really hot." And then someone from Florida is like, "Oh, you think that's hot? Well, the humidity isn't even that hot. You try living in Florida. The wet bulb temperature is like even hotter there." And then someone's like, "Oh, but have you tried living in like Brazil?" You're like, "Oh, okay, all right." That's how it goes. You can never say something's hot or cold anymore. High 80s. I thought hippies were more active in the 70s. People are high all the time. Welcome Xeg. Yeah, Brazil mentioned. You ever say it's cold? It's like, "Oh, you think it's cold? Wait till you live in the Midwest. Wait till you experience a Chicago winter." And then someone who's went to Antarctica, there's like, "Oh, you think that's it? It's a joke. Try living in Antarctica, man." That's how it is. Anyway, that's life. It is 30 Celsius today there as well in Germany. It's pretty hot. I think I looked at the weather forecast. It's gonna be like around 100 Fahrenheit like next week or something. I was like, what the frick? Like high 90s Fahrenheit? That's crazy. And, you know, now the difference is that I actually have to go to the office, so, like, I'm not looking forward to that commute. Having to wake up and be like, oh, it's so hot. And then I have to, like, still go outside. That's gonna suck. Also, thank you, Electro Retro, for the 5 gifted subscriptions. The Earth is flat and the ice circles the globe. Oh, that globe. Oh, that good old globe. Good times. But yeah, I have my door open today. I was a bit afraid that it's going to be so hot that my computer overheats and restarts itself, but I think it's like not that bad right now. Also, welcome Toaster Koishi. Is that the developer of Archaea? Toaster the Koishi? Globe Earthers are insane. No, that's just how it is. Also, did I welcome Tag Barrel? I don't think I did. I always have to scroll up. Welcome Tag Barrel. It's not healthy for your wallet. For it to be hot outside. Is that what it is? You know, I didn't buy anything at this Steam Summer Sale. There's like nothing that I wanted. Everyone was talking about it. They were like, oh, look at this game. This game's on sale. I'm gonna buy 10 different games. I looked at the games that were on sale and I'm like, I don't know. Although this game seems like it'd be cool, I don't really feel like buying it. Cold bought balloons. Is it because of Mint Phantom playing a lot of Bloons Tower Defense? He's only bought 4 games. Are they good though? Are you actually gonna play those games? Or are you gonna buy them and then be like, I'm never gonna play this? Never. It will never happen. Celeste. That's what's good. That's, you know, I would recommend Celeste. It's a hard game, but also very fun. Got the Rabbit Raid game. Oh, the Sword of Rabbit, or whatever. Seal of Rabbit. Zoli has already played one. Duck said, I bought the fish game that ChocoJax played. I already owned. Oh, Insane Aquarium. Yeah, I played that when it was on those old Flash game websites. I bought several people Insane Aquarium less than $1. Man, that aquarium sure is quite insane. I played that game a lot as a kid. I don't remember anything about it. But I do remember it being fun. And ChocoJax did play it on her stream. Nino Egan also played it on her stream recently. It seems very chaotic. I don't know if I would really enjoy it. Oh, it's called Rabbit and Steel. That's what it was. Played the money game with Tag and Zol today. Yo, what? People playing games together, multiplayer? That's crazy. What, Rabbit and Steel, Gato, Roboto, TIS 100, and Chrono Trigger? She played it because I bought it for her, and then she ended up really liking it. It was a fun time. I tuned into that stream, and all she could talk about was the pregnant fish. She was like, why is that fish pregnant? What the frick? Everyone was like, is that a pregnant fish? Why is that fish pregnant? And she was like, I don't know why it's so pregnant. That's all anyone could talk about. Yeah, pregnant fish. CJ isn't even real. Is she though? Isn't she real? If she's not real, how can we hear her voice? As you know, you can only hear the voices of things that are real. Fake things making sounds, it's not even a thing. Fergante. Welcome Cryptic Command as well. Welcome Essie. ChocoJax is an advanced dog AI. She's not a dog though. The issue isn't the pregnancy, it's the stock fart sound that accompanies the... Okay. I didn't listen to the game close enough to hear that. When are you catching a pregnant fish? I don't know, I mean, like, these fish could be pregnant. We wouldn't have no way of knowing, right? I don't know. Any fish experts here? Like, can you tell when a fish is pregnant? Like, without cutting it open and, like, eating it? Like, I don't know. Do some of them change colors? Is chat fake if we can't hear us talk? No, I said things that you listen to are real, but not the other way around is not necessarily true. The fact that someone isn't making sounds doesn't mean that they're not real. It's just that if something is making a sound, then that thing is real. I learned that guppies do live birth. I didn't know that. I don't know that much about fish. Is anyone here an expert in... What is the study of fish called? It's not fishology, right? It's like... something... Fishin', fish life, fish... It's what study... I don't know. It's not fishology. In before it, if you press down on it slightly, eggs come out. No, but like without needing to interact with it. Yeah, any pregnancy experts? Electro is an expert at literally everything. How are you though? The Tag Barrel said I tried to go through my backlog instead of buying a ton of games, almost done with Dungeon Keeper. Now that sounds vaguely familiar. I feel like I often confuse the title of games that have very similar titles. Like, there's one called Core Keeper, which is what came to mind, but that's a different game. It just happened to have the word Keeper in it. And then, like, Dungeon, like Darkest Dungeon. Keeper of the Dungeon. Also, welcome X-Tag. Ichthyology. Oh, I have heard of that. Ichthyology. Yeah, there's like a lot of words that we know at some point in our lives, and then we forget. We're like, oh yeah, what was this thing? I used to know what this thing was. That's how life works, you know? You go through life, you study things. Some people, when they go to school, they cram and then they forget everything. But it's also like if you don't use that knowledge, you just don't remember. All those electrical engineering things that I learned, don't even remember any of them. You only remember like the names of things, like vaguely. It's like if someone was like, hey, look at this, remember Shannon's theorem, Nyquist baseband frequency? I'd be like, whoa, wait a second. I, at some point, used to know what those things meant. Now I only recognize them by name, but I can't tell you what things are. Welcome, Namington. Dungeon Keeper is 97 game about being evil and making the world worse by managing dungeons. I do not know it then. Old games. Actually, one of my coworkers has been saying that he's been playing Age of Empires 2 a lot recently. And I was like, isn't that game like really old? And he's like, yeah, it was made in like the 90s, but they had like a remake in 2018 and he got really into it. And I'm like, that's cool. And then he spent his July 4th weekend just trying to get good at that game. I'm like, what the heck? I've heard of that game. I've never played it, but I know of it. You should play super old RPGs like Might and Magic. They're very silly. And you were silly Billy. No. Do I seem like the person that would play a lot of RPGs? Maybe in the past, but like nowadays, not so much. Yeah, area of effect. Age of Empires. What game are they on now? Age of Empires 6? I've actually never played any of them. Is it an RTS? I'm not good at RTS games. It was an HD version in 2013 and a remaster in 2019. Okay, yeah, he's probably talking about the remaster then. You seem like the person to play tic-tac-toe. I have not played tic-tac-toe in years. When was the last time I even played that game? Have I even played that game in the past 5 years? I don't even know. I think not being good at RTS is kind of fun. Maybe. I mean, I tried playing StarCraft. StarCraft 2? What the? How did this get casted over there? I definitely casted it this way. And I went back. Play right now. You could play right now. The one where you build the mechs. Hold on. Do you see that new Mech Gundam thing game releases soon? The Gunpla thing? I think I did see that. Yeah. I don't know. Would I play it? I'm not sure. Maybe. Have you ever built a Gunpla? I had one when I was a kid. It wasn't that good, but it was kind of cool. The pieces seemed really brittle. I think it was like a very low quality set. One that was probably like really cheap. But it was cool. You could pose it. You could move things around. It was nice. Warcraft 3. Welcome, Liquid Cake. Never. Michael says never. Star Sector. Age of Empires 4. I thought they would have had like 6 of them by now. Thinking of a completely different game. I don't know. I don't know. Age of Empires 2 is relatively simple and allows you to treat it as a city builder if you're bad at it. It's more inviting for newcomers than stacking mutas. Yeah, StarCraft is like, I feel like RTS games, StarCraft, isn't that the one that requires like the most APM kind of stuff? Like, I never really hear much about like Age of Empires players having like insane micromanagement abilities, right? Maybe that is a thing. Then again, I also don't really see much Age of Empires being played. Like, do they still have big tournaments like StarCraft? I don't know. External DVD player. Wasn't AoE always Microsoft? I have no idea. Because people don't hype up Age of... I guess because it's like not super popular in like the places where esports is popular, right? Because like StarCraft is really popular in Korea. And like, you know, they have a whole esports scene. Like, what about Age of Empires? Are there Age of Empires big tournaments out there? I just don't know. There are? Okay. But they're not as big as the StarCraft ones. To the extent that I don't hear about them. AoE 2 is the most best one. It's old, but it works. MS owns it now. StarCraft is the most autistic. I don't know. Cannot confirm or deny. AoE has a hardcore community. That's pretty cool, though. Kind of cool, you know, that games from back in the day are still being played to this day. Even, like, you think about how old school RuneScape is still going. People are still really into that game. Despite it being the same game as it was, like, 20 years ago. AoE has 8 different developers over the years. Microsoft. I think they all require extreme APM. Maybe Subcom and TA likes require less, but they can still be hectic. Has more to do with how the community forms around the multiplayer. AoE 2. Wait, is Age of Empires 2 is still the most, like, popular one, even though there's 4 of them now? Because, like, yeah, like, why did they remake the second one? Did they remake / remaster the first one? At all? It's the most popular. It's the most, is it the most balanced? It's kind of how, like, people still play StarCraft 1, even though the second one came out. Because people love Brood War. Okay, but they update old school RuneScape. RuneScape constantly is not the same game at all. They add and change so much stuff. Then how is it old school then? If they're still updating it, how is it old? Shouldn't it be new? Do people talk about like the new RuneScape anymore? Because I only ever hear about the old school one. It's still 2D. Wait, is there a new RuneScape that is not 2D? Are we talking about? Oh no, we're talking about AoE 2. We're talking about different things. Sorry, I mixed up my messages. That's why RTS campaigns are fun. You don't have to get super good. Just build up a huge army, watch them demolish. Yeah, the Death Ball. That's how it is. 2 is by far the most popular one. Speaking of RTS games, there are some that are far more known for the single player than the multiplayer, like Homeworld. What about that one game? The Color Red. What was that one? Red Alert? Wasn't that an RTS? Do people still play that? Is that more about the campaign or what? RuneScape was always 3D. Yeah, I mixed up my messages. It's old school because the content they make follows an old school philosophy. Of like having to grind a lot, of having to like chop down trees for lumber and then spend all your time just grinding resources. RuneScape 3, the non-old school one, is slowly dying. It's a microtransaction hell. Wait, they had a third one? I didn't even know they had 3 RuneScapes. Didn't even know there was a second one. Yeah, Red Alert. Oh, Command. No, I was thinking of Command and Conquer. That's what I was thinking of. Pikmin. Do you count Pikmin as an RTS? It kind of is in some ways. You do manage units, but it's like in a weird kind of way. Red Alert is famous for the campaign cutscenes with real actors being silly, but multiplayer is still where it's at. I see. Old school is RuneScape. Wait, I thought that RuneScape... Then what is RuneScape 1? If old school is RuneScape 2, then is there like old school RuneScape? Like the oldest school RuneScape 1? Or did that game suck so much that everyone hated it? Oh, classic. They have old school and classic? What the heck? RuneScape OG? So they have classic, old school, and 3? Red Alert. Okay, Command and Conquer is Red Alert. Man, why do games just have titles? Why can't we just know what they are? Strange. Anyway, I never really played RuneScape. It was always the fun thing to do to call it Run Escape, you know, to make fun of it. Say, hey there, are you playing a Run Escape? And they're like, no, it's RuneScape. No, I'm pretty sure it's Run Escape. They don't officially have RuneScape Classic servers. It's like, it's so old that they've discontinued it and people don't have official servers. I don't know. Run Escape is what you should do if you're playing it. So true. So true. I feel like every time I tuned in to someone playing old school RuneScape, is it like a chatting kind of game? Like the way how people play Minecraft and they just chat all the time? I feel like people play old school RuneScape as like a chatting stream kind of game. They're just like cutting lumber and like fighting the same mobs over and over. Like, I don't really know what they're doing. What's the deal? What even is RuneScape? Command and Conquer, Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, Mental Omega. It's crazy. See, but you know what they say about old school RuneScape players? You never quit. You only take really long breaks. It'll come back and get me again someday. Were you really into old school RuneScape? People chat a lot in RuneScape. Scammers. I mean, like, there's scammers in every game, right? Every game that has some kind of online economy, there will be scammers. Stone of Jordan. Remember Stone of Jordan? I don't even know what that is. I just see it referenced a lot. That's a thing in RuneScape, right? There's some pretty high stress content, but it's so repetitive that you can even get that down to muscle memory and yap over it. It's true. That's the ideal game. You can just talk over a game. That's perfect. That's what every game should strive for. I've been watching a lot of MMO reviews lately. The fun MMOs are the ones with communities that you get to know people. Historically, those games were kind of used as chat rooms, not anymore with Discord around. It is true. People just chatting on Discord. I mean, like, I know people, some people just play Final Fantasy XIV, like, to hang out with people, right? They just build their houses, they go hang out in the houses. You know, you got the people doing, like, raid content, you got people playing Mahjong. The same thing happens with Fortnite. Some people, you know, kids, they just go on Fortnite to hang out. They don't go there to, like, play the Battle Royale. Just sit around, they go to some custom worlds. Like Roblox. Exactly like that. Some games are well known for scammers though, only a few games allow scammers as part of the game. Welcome Nutritious. Is that allowed? Do they allow the scammers? Old school RuneScape got the Wilderness, which is a PvP zone where you lose almost all your gear if you die there. Just like real life. It's literally the same as real life. Oh yeah, EVE Online, the spreadsheet game. FF14 has virtual nightclubs. In FF14 you got people doing ERP, extreme raid progression. And then you've got people doing ERP. Yeah, from like one of the streamers that I watched. I think she said there was like a server that was known as the ERP server, and like if you join that server, pretty much everyone on it is like doing that kind of stuff. What's the deal? Balmong? Oh, is it like that well known? You think so? You think people go on there like not knowing what kind of server it is, and then just like can't wait to play some Final Fantasy XIV as my first experience in this game? Let me just join this server, it seems like it has a cool name, and then they join and everyone's like, weird? Oh, what the frick? Is this what the Final Fantasy XIV community is like? There's gotta be someone who has done that. People on EVE Online steal thousands and tens of thousands of dollars worth of in-game items, and as part of the TOS, if you lose money, they do nothing. Damn. Got insider trading out there. Welcome, Zykes. I first heard about EVE Online from a super long article detailing a massive guild company takeover, mostly orchestrated by people infiltrating the guild's upper management over the course of several years. Yeah, it's pretty well known for that kind of stuff. They have an official Microsoft Excel integration, if you weren't aware. It is spreadsheets the game. A lot of accountants play that game. A lot of people really good at Excel are there. EVE has people join alliances for years only to backstab and empty bank accounts. It also has shares. Zoli is mildly curious about experiencing an ERP server once. Well, you could sign up for Final Fantasy XIV Online, which has a free trial up until level 60, including the however the rest of that copy pasta goes. You could play that game for free. You could totally just sign up for that server if you wanted. The only thing stopping you is yourself. And I guess your computer and your bandwidth or whatever. Warframe. Critically acclaimed. Yeah, the critically acclaimed game that everyone knows and loves. Except me. I have never played it. I don't think I will ever play it. But I do know many people who do play it. Defins took a business course that had ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning as a course. And got really confused at first because I only knew the MMO definition. There's a lot of things like that. Like, you know how CBT is a term that people use outside of like the sex context? Like, it's like cognitive behavioral therapy, but also, you know how like Google Cloud, that's right, Google Cloud Platform has a thing called Bigtable, which is a place to store data. Their command line tool is called CBT. And like every time someone's like, oh yeah, just check the data when in CBT. I'm just like, what? Okay. That's a thing. Closed, but yeah, it's also closed beta test. Cognitive behavioral torture. CBT is one of the most proven effective forms of therapy. Yeah, for cognitive and behavioral. But what about the other therapies? What's the best therapy? Anyone ever been to a therapist? I have never. Do I need to go to a therapist? Does anyone here go to therapy? It's probably good, right? It's probably good for your mind to talk about your problems and have someone analyze them. Best therapy is no therapy. Therapy ignore problems. What problems? I don't have any problems. Can't ignore problems if you have none. I definitely have no problems. Do you have anything bothering you? So many. Literally everything in this world is bothering me. I tried therapy once and the therapist told me he can't fix it. Is that true? Is that, or are you just making that up? But is that real? I wonder if we all need therapy. I feel like it's one of those things where like you probably don't need it, but like it probably does help, you know? A lot of people are like, oh, therapy, I don't need that. And then they go to therapy once and they're like, actually, that was pretty nice. Welcome, Styler Gear. Definitely need therapy, but I can't find therapy. I'm sure there's many places to go. Sadly, lots of mental issues legit have no solutions. The ones that do can take decades to make significant improvement. Yeah, but isn't it better to try than to just not try? CBT is kind of fake it till you make it, but you do it consciously and in manageable steps. What even is cognitive behavioral therapy? I never actually bothered looking up what it meant, or like what it involves. Cole says it's true, he told me to find someone else. Dang. Is it that like different therapists specialize in different things? I mean, I guess that is necessarily true though. Is he like, well, I can't help you with that, but like this person might be able to? Did you go to that other person and he was also like, well, yeah, you look like you have a case of this thing. Maybe. Mental health treatment is still in its infancy. If medication doesn't help, you're screwed. Dang. It really says a lot about society. Koichi says, imagine being able to afford therapy. Well, you know, aren't you a software engineer? Is that not a thing you can afford as someone who engineers software? I mean, insurance is pretty bad, I guess. I don't know. Say, hey buddy, I think you got the wrong door. I'm a physical therapist. Oh, yeah, there's different types of therapy. Physitive, that's not even a physical. What word did I just combine? What the frick is physitive? So I definitely should probably do therapy, but my anxiety makes me struggle to find therapists, make appointments, etc. I think isn't the biggest obstacle just getting started? Like once you start doing it, then you get into a habit. And then it becomes easier. That's how life is. There are always specialists and training is always a problem. Therapy options do exist that are no cost or low cost, but it takes work to find them. And they aren't everywhere. Mental health is a barrier in and of itself. What is, okay, so when people say in and of itself, like what does that mean? Because like making a sentence that doesn't have the phrase in and of itself, I never really understood. Is it just like, it is self-evident? It insists on itself? In itself and of itself? This in and also of itself. English. English has a lot of phrases like that. Means that having a mental health problem can be a barrier. Oh, I see. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. In some ways. You can do self-help CBT for the anxiety to get a shrink to make you do CBT. I don't even know. ADHD and PTSD sufferers often find it difficult to seek treatment, and no one will seek you out. I have ADHD and it's really tough to get started. Dang, man. I feel like, it is more accepted nowadays. Because, like, back in my day, I remember when, like, in school, everyone would they would always just, like, say, oh yeah, I'm so stupid, I have ADD, I have ADHD. They're just like, as soon as they, I don't know, they see anyone exhibiting any sort of symptoms, they're just like, oh, this guy's got ADHD, this guy is so ADHD. But nowadays, I feel like it's more treated as like a real thing. Maybe like not as much as it should be, but like, I don't know, there's more acceptance of it. That it is a real thing. Man, ADHD is you getting distracted from seeking help and completely miss it out. Sometimes you might miss an appointment. Sometimes you don't realize that anything is wrong in the first place. I mean, what if everything was just good? If someone in your life says, I'm just lazy, they might just have ADHD. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that, like, people don't think about. Like, remember when we played that game on Variety Saturday? It was like chronic illness simulator, and then it was just like, they don't know what condition they had until they find a doctor that was like, oh, actually you have this thing. It's probably a lot of people that like have a lot of conditions and they're just like, I don't know what this thing is. I've been experiencing this my whole life. I didn't know until this guy told me, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. It's life. That's how life is. ADHD is common to be diagnosed later in life. I didn't get diagnosed until 38 years old. Dang. Really says a lot about life. It's so hot outside. How hot is it? It's so hot. Punchline. So Wolfie, how hot? I already talked about this. Welcome, Orfish. I already talked about this extensively at the start of the stream. You're gonna have to watch the VOD if you want to find out. If you do well in school and cope well enough, ADHD is diagnosed often later in life. But it is a struggle the whole time. Yeah, can't really relate. It seems like it must be tough, Also, thank you, Electro Retro, for the gift sub. The Orfish. See, as always said, there is also some things that come with ADHD where you suddenly crash while doing fine in childhood. But then it turns out that your parents were just carrying your task and time management, making you perfectly functional. If you were smart, you might also pass school well enough for no one to be confused. Yeah, I guess, like, when you're in school, you got teachers and your parents keeping you in check. And then, like, once you graduate, you can go out into life. It's like, then you are responsible for your own things, and then you realize... I'm assuming that's what it's like. I don't know. ADHD isn't really lazy or distracted, it's an inability to get yourself to start doing something. Dang. Welcome, random Asian guy. ADHD, yeah, that's how I pronounce ADHD. I've made that joke many times in many chats. It's like how Super Mario 6040S looks like 6040S. See, most people with ADHD get really frustrated because they want to do things, but they lack the mental muscle that allows them to start tasks. Just like how someone with paralyzed legs wouldn't be able to stand no matter how much they'd like to. And then that's it's too bad. It's messed up. It's hecked up. People have to live with things. People have to experience such things in their lives. No, why can't everyone just not suffer? Imagine a world where no one suffered. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's see, you absolutely burn out really hard because burnout is kind of not doing the things you want to do. And if you can't do the things you want to do and get deadlocked, you're absolutely screwed. Man. Is this a thing many of you can relate to? How many people actually in this chat have ADHD? At least one. Several. 3, 4. It's far more common. I guess there's like different like amounts of it, right? It's genetic. Refuse to acknowledge it. So you want to clean, you want to do homework, but you just can't. I now have medication for ADHD and things are normal. Well, that's good. Toaster says, not me, but my SO. Dang. ADHD, never heard it. Maybe I have ADHD and just deal with it by using routines. I feel like routines are useful for like a lot of things. Like, I feel like the fact that a lot of my life has a lot of routine. Like, I stream at the same time. I stream on the same days. I watch the same streamers at the same times, etc. I feel like that helps a lot. Not to say that I have this sort of condition. I feel like routine is nice in many ways. You know, people that like they wake up late in the day and they're just like, you know, one day they'll wake up at like noon, one day they'll wake up at like 9 a.m. The fact that I wake up at the same time is like, it's like kind of nice. I generally find it hard to start anything that's not on a routine. Exactly. Routine is nice. Oh yeah, OCD is also another thing, right? A lot of people back in the day, when I was in school, it's kind of the same thing with like ADHD and ADD. As soon as anyone has like, they want something to be any sort of specific way, everyone's always like, oh yeah, I totally have OCD because I need this thing to be like this. But it's like, I don't know, like how many people actually have it? Maybe it is more than we think. I don't know. It's another thing is like also autism. Like a lot of people, I feel like nowadays autism is a lot more accepted, right? Back in the day, it was often used as like an insult, but nowadays a lot of people online, they're just like, oh yeah, look at me, I got the autism. Whenever anyone expresses any interest in anything, they're like, oh yeah, I got the train autism. I got the whatever. I don't know. Just a thing that happens. Comorbidities. And morbidities, got them. Zoe had trouble to do things, but at some point I forced myself to do basic stream scheduling. Now I am streaming on schedule. Yeah, it's nice to have regularity. But I feel like sometimes I have too much regularity. Like whenever I have to do anything that's like not on like the schedule, like if someone just tells me the day before that I have to like go somewhere, I'm like, no, but I had plans. I mean, they weren't really that important plans, but like I wasn't expecting to have to like go outside and like do things, you know? But I feel like most people, like, they're fine with that. That's like it's like a form of autism in some ways. Having to do things. unprompted. I don't know. Hold on. Many people are saying many things. I have to scroll through the chat. Like Cake said, don't think I really need to know. I'm happy with my life. Basically halfway through it anyway. Classic. Styler is not diagnosed, but suspect he has minor ADHD and or borderline autistic. Xtag says, as a teacher, I have some knowledge about this. Kids are getting diagnosed with disabilities more, and some people say stuff like participation trophy, something in the water. It's just because more families are opting for getting their kids screened where it wasn't as common. I guess that is also true. Like, back in the day when people didn't take it seriously, they just, like, you know, would not actually formally get diagnosed. And now that people are actually, it's like, oh yeah, this is a thing. This is a real thing. Toaster says, from what I've heard, real OCD is about fear. They feel extremely stressed, anxious to the point of outright fear if they don't do your OCD things. True. Michael is too impulsive to follow a schedule. But what about your work schedule? What about these things? ADHD and autism are so closely related, you probably have both. 50% of people diagnosed with one or the other are diagnosed with the other. Michael just does stuff because he feels like doing stuff at that given time. Oh, that Michael. Look, people are saying so many things. Diagnosis changes, the prevalence of it in existence normally stays about the same. It's about what is being paid attention to. Autistic people tend to like routines. Yeah, that is a common thing that people say. Like, I'm sure that I exhibit many autistic qualities. I've never been diagnosed or have never even attempted, but also I kind of feel like if I did get diagnosed, I don't know if it would change my life though. Right, I think a lot of people, when they go through things and then they find out that they've had this thing, they're like, oh yeah, so that's why, you know, this thing my entire life. I feel like, I don't know, I don't think I would it would really affect me in any way. I feel like Northernlion had this same thing. Like, a lot of people were like, hey, Northernlion, did you know you express a lot of autistic tendencies? Have you tried getting tested? And he's also like, he also is like, oh yeah, maybe I do have it. But also, like, I'm not gonna spend the time actually getting diagnosed because, like, I don't think it would actually change my life in any way, you know? But I don't know. Some people, it's nice to know. But for me, I'm like, I don't know. In spite of a range of theories and considerable research, scientists have not been able to identify a definitive cause for why a person develops OCD. Some theories suggest a combination of various things. See, Michael said, I've openly told them I might go a day without working at all, or work at random hours and then work on another day, only on some days. I did that in the second week of working here, and they called me the night watch because I did a bunch of commits at 1 a.m. Classic Michael thing. It's like, work, I can't do work right now. I'm watching a stream. They're like, okay, you can do your work at 1 a.m. if you want, etc. Welcome Honktown. It is in fact quite hot. No one knows what causes a lot of mental illnesses. It's true. It's true. Zoe said, I don't care to check for an autism diagnosis. It doesn't matter much as mild of an autism I could possibly have. Knowing that you may have ADHD is kind of critical though. Yeah, I think for some things it really does matter. Like if it's like you get medication for it, you know, actual treatment. I don't know. It can cause very positive outcomes. My anxiety and ADHD treatment saved my life. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, for some people, it might not matter to know. For some people, it matters a lot. I think there was one day where I did no work, and I told them it's because Dawn Trail released, and they all laughed. The Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail DLC. The worst that happens is nothing improves. The best that happens is you are more or less cured. Yeah, but it's like, some things don't bother people that much that they need to go through the effort to do it. Because I remember actually when Northern Lion talked about this, and he was interested in like getting an actual diagnosis for autism. He called whatever agency that does it, or like, I don't know, medical group. And they're like, oh yeah, we can schedule you for like an appointment sometime in like 9 months from now. And he's like, what the frick? Sometimes it takes time to set that stuff up. It's like, it's a lot of effort. That probably depends, on your situation. See, Hongtown said, my sister was a space cadet until she got treatment. She didn't realize how much of a difference it could make. Yeah. It's true. The diagnosis matter more if the disability causes trouble. If you're completely fine, then a diagnosis is more like a personality. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's a space cadet. Someone whose head is always just, like in the clouds. It feels like they're like spacing out. Is that the reason, like that they're spacing out all the time? Something like that. Supposedly I got diagnosed with autism, but that was also on the edge of the spectrum. They asked my parents if they wanted to have the label. I guess I was so young I don't remember any of this. Classic. Anyway, I'm gonna hydrate. I'm like 1 minute late to hydration. See, this is the thing with the routine. You gotta stick to the routine, okay? We can't not be hydrating at 6 p.m. It's just how it is. Alright, I'm gonna hydrate. Alright, I've hydrated. There's many words being said right now. Hold on. The risk groups. Treatment did nothing. Diagnosis. True. They're in outer space all the time. My sister's case was a lot distracted by internal scenarios. A lot of people wondering, like, oh yeah, what if I did this thing? What if this thing happened? See, Zoe said, I got a diagnosis, but I'm not always sure meds do that much for me all the time. Sometimes they do a lot, sometimes they do wear little because I'm overstimulated instead. Sometimes things do be happening. Also, welcome Hamflow. If your life is fine, you probably obviously don't need treatment. Problem is, a lot of people can't identify that there's a problem at all. I had that problem with my anxiety. I see. Well, I don't know. Because, like, I feel like my life is going fine to some extent. Or, like, if I found out I had some kind of, some kind of condition, I'd be like, oh man, that kind of sucks. But also, like, I guess it would depend on what the condition is. I mean, if it's something like, obviously this is very different, but like if it was cancer, that's, I'd be like, holy frick. But if it was like, I don't know, if I found out I had autism, I don't think it would change my life, like, really in any way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it would. Maybe it would. I see, an older meaning of space cadet can mean someone who's tripping. My mom said not to call her a space cadet. When I called her a bunch of times, she was busy playing a game. I didn't know that term had other meanings besides just that. Everyone reacts differently. Every person is unique. Yes. So true. Also, welcome Yukiko. I suspect VTuber chats have something of a bias toward neurodivergent people. I guess that's also true. In my perspective, I have a lot of ADHD treatments that are excessive. There's a distinction between nudging the system to where it works more coherently versus having it right now. True. Well, if he gets diagnosed, chatty, hag, VTuber, and male. And also backseating allowed, and also... What are my other tags? VTuber? You've been diagnosed with a VTuber tag. English. English is there by default. That's not like a tag that I added. I'm pretty sure it gets added automatically. Backseating fishing. Oh, it's there for all games. I pretty much don't remove that tag. Sorry, streamer. You've been diagnosed with VTuber. You're not even English. Yeah, it's the language of the stream. I feel like if you were English, you would probably have the British tag. Like you would self-diagnose as British on Twitch as a tag. A lot of therapy is toward working routines and working on handling impulsivity. Are you fly fishing? No, I'm regular fishing. Do they have a cure for being diagnosed as English? There's probably many cures. You could get citizenship somewhere else. You could not be English. What if you hate the Scots and the Welsh? Well, I'm sorry, but like you are still British, you know. If you are English, you are inherently British. Presumably. Is there a way where that's not true? Can you be English without being British? Is that possible? Do you know that there are flies that are banned illegal in competition because they are too effective? I did not know. I don't know many things about fishing in general. While I was in work or get fired conditions, I did great, but now that I need to find a new job or sell print, can't find my focus. Yeah. It's hard. Living in a society, having to do things, to have employment, hacked up. Remember when I was unemployed? That sucked. That was that was certainly a time. Yeah, rocks were used for speech impediments. Fly fishing is weird. There are salmon egg flies that are insanely effective. They're banned. But do they ban certain types of worms for fishing bait? Probably, right? Hongtown job today his job is everything that's not computers or medical equipment, and it's a recycling place. Your job is everything that's not computers or medical equipment for recycling. So like, do you handle like the paper and the styrofoam? Do people still use styrofoam? Or like the plastic yogurt containers? Stuff like that. Classic society. We do be living in a society. Anyone out here not living in society? What's that like? Anyone living in the wilderness? Oh, electronics recycling. I guess that makes sense. What about ink? Do you have to deal with ink? Medical equipment that hopefully isn't radioactive. How much medical equipment is radioactive? Do any of us truly live in a society? I feel like all of us do. If you're interacting in this chat, you are inherently part of a society right now. I feel like the only way to not be in a society is If you just, you know, you lived in the wilderness by yourself and you never contact anyone. But even then, like, would those people still be considered living in a society? In some ways, they are. In some ways, they're not. Today was a bunch of Android phone barcode readers and a handheld kitchen blender. And a camcorder. Dang. Doxed by the things that you handled at the recycling place. You got people that are like, wait a second, I went to this recycling center and I gave them an Android phone barcode reader and a handheld kitchen blender. Welcome, Ember. The REM to Ember. Immersion blender seem fun. What is that? What is the immersion of the blender? So Yuko says, I watch those vids where people build really, really cool camper vans from normal vans with AC and beds and stuff. Sometimes I wish that was me. It must cost a lot of money though to do things like that. I do get recommendations of like people solo camping like in the woods with their car. Actually yesterday, I got recommended a video of like a guy traveling around the country, the US that is, and he was just like, he would just bring his kayak with him and he would just like go camping on random islands. And he's like, hey, do you know there's this like really tiny island in between Manhattan and Brooklyn, and it's like, I don't know, like 10 meters long. And then he just went there and he camped there. He just went there and camped for the night. He had many birds surrounding him. And I'm like, that's cool. You are not follow. What the? How are you not following? This guy's not even following. Society exists to separate classes. It's called stealth camping. It is. But many people saw him. Many people waved at him from boats. Thank you, Electrode, for the gifted sub to Ember. You're playing. It is in fact a plane. Thank you for the gift sub to Duck as well. Let's see, I hear like if you have really good carpentry skills, you can mod a van into that state for 5 to 10k. I mean, that's still like quite a bit of money though. There's a setting to ignore gift redeems from channels you don't follow. I assume it was meant for random subs only. Dang. This guy's not following. I feel like you come into this chat pretty often and you're not even following. Actually, no, I remember there was one time when someone mentioned that he doesn't follow people because if he did, the streamers would stop showing up in their recommended or something. And so like, if you don't follow them, you're more likely to see their streams on on the suggested page or something like that, right? Was that you? That's probably someone else, right? I don't know. I say I did have a low point at one time where I thought at least in prison I'll never have to pay for a bill unless I'm released. Yeah, that's like the depressing part. So some people, it's like their life is better in prison than it would be outside of prison. It's hecked up. Makes more sense from the people that have 2,000 full followers. Yeah, imagine following 2,000 people. It does happen. If Twitch broke, I can't seem to gift anymore. I might have broke PayPal. No. You're flagging your account for fraud. This guy can't be buying this many gift subs. It's illegal. Then becomes your home and you no longer pay rent. It's true. Living in a van. That's the life everyone wants. Just to be in a van. There's the Japanese granny shoplifting epidemic, where the elderly commit crimes to get good company, exercise, and consistent schedule in prison. Yeah. Aren't Swedish prisons really nice? I've seen some videos about it. You're like, actually, every time I see like videos about Swedish prison, you always get people in like the comments saying like, man, that Swedish prison is better than like the way a lot of people live in the US, like normally. It's like that's better. That prison is better than my house. What the? Also, welcome Chaos Ryan. I only follow people I watch, except a couple of 1,000 plus watcher streamers who got too big for me to cope. Classic thing. When streamer you watch gets too popular, and then their chat is so different. The vibes are different. It doesn't happen that often, but sometimes it does. Twitch subs are going to be more expensive soon. That is true. When are they changing that? I feel like I asked about that a week ago, and I got an answer, but I forgot already. That's how it is. Japan is messed up in so many ways. USA has lots of problems too. Social isolation of Japanese culture. They do have many things going on. The work-life balance there kind of sucks, apparently. It's like a lot of places where it's like, it's nice to visit, but to live there is probably not that nice. I don't know. Is it better to have annual subscription or monthly subscription? Can you even have an annual Twitch sub without being gifted one? I think the most you can subscribe for at a time is 6 months, right? But the weird thing is that you can gift someone else a 12-month sub, which is kind of weird. You can. I could never see it in the options. 1 year. I mean, I always subscribe at the maximum that's available to me, and it's always 6 months. But you can gift 1 year subs. I'm wondering, like, can I sign into an anonymous account and gift myself a 1 year sub to a channel? Maybe. Yeah, 6 months, right? That's, I know. I've purchased many 6 month subs. Maybe I should do that. I should just resub now while subs are cheap. Let me put that on my notes, on my to-do list. Oh no, my monitor turned off. Can't believe it. Alright, maybe I'll do it later. Don't think you can gift more than 1 month. No, you definitely can. It's happened to me many times. I've received a 3-month sub recently. I received a 1 year gift sub some like last year or 2 years ago. It's real. It's real and I've received them. Oops. You know, things are bad when prison life is better than being normal. Incarceration system in Scandinavia is the best in the world. It's a fact. What do they do there? Yeah, if you pick the person specifically, yes. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I wanted to like subscribe for 12 months, would it be better for me to just like make an alt account and then just gift sub myself a 12-month sub from like the alt account? Especially if prices are going to increase. Well, I don't know, because then like September's coming up and then it'll be cheaper to renew then. I don't know. I can't remember what game taught me Japan has a 99% conviction rate, which is kind of scary. I learned that in YouTube shorts as well. Yeah, I feel like, so what I've heard about the Japanese legal system is just like the fact that if you are in court, it's probably, you're probably gonna get convicted. Like it's an assumption that if you ever are in court, you're just gonna, they've pretty much already decided you're guilty. And being not guilty is like a really exceptional case. But the poor person won't get Twitch Plus. I don't know. Does that really matter though? Is that even really a thing? It's like one person. Being in prison isn't better in Scandinavia. It only looks that way. Losing your freedom matters. Yes, but I think some people would rather lose their freedom for a sense of security than to live their life the way they normally do. Welcome, Floop. Hello, Raiders. What are you doing? Something keyboard related? Were you building a keyboard? Or something? I don't know. What is this guy doing? Shout out. Floop. You were solo gaming. Pokemon Showdown. Welcome, Horatio the Duck. Welcome, How to Fix. Welcome, Floop. He was, in fact, not building a keyboard. I hope you had a good time with Pokemon Showdown, though. We're talking about the prison system. In many countries. Let's see, that's less good for the streamer, though, because gifted subs don't count. Yeah. It's true. That's how it is. Prison. Do you actually love prison, though? We're talking about how some countries' prison is better than the way people normally live their lives. Which is kind of sad. It says a lot about society. So that people would prefer to go to jail than to live their life normally. Michael likes prisms. Oh yeah, what's the best prism, huh? You're a fan of prisms, name the best one. Hongtown said, I think the economic conditions play a big part in what is that word? Recidivism? Obviously, imprisoning someone for 20 years, no therapy is financially and socially worse than a 5-year prison somewhere else. That is true. It's also kind of messed up that, like, some people... You like, hear stories, like... Or I guess, like, you see stories sometimes of people that, like, get convicted for, like, you know, 50 years or something when they were, like, in their, like, late teens or 20s. And then it's just videos of them getting out of prison and they're, like, 70 years old and, like, they lived most of their life in prison. And it's like, man, what the frick? What are... Like, life has changed so much in 50 years. Imagine having to rehabilitate for, like, 50 years. Like, technology has changed. Everything's different. How can you even interact with society in such a way? All the prisms. The US has what we call a medieval kind of prison. Oh, I remember that game. Remember that game? PlayStation game, Medieval? It's not about making people better, it's about punishment and cruelty. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. They used to cycle past a Wormwood Scrubs prison a lot. Might not be the best prison, but certainly has an interesting name. Wormwood Scrubs. I sure hope worms would do that. Because, you know, when they're moving around in the soil, they do be scrubbing. They do be out there doing things. Even if the initial crime rate were the same, someone coming out in a difficult economy will have a harder time than someone who can rebuild easily. Yeah. Sad. If you make prison at least resemble real life, you can more easily reintegrate into society. Recidivism. What does that word mean? Recidivism. Oh, to like integrate with society after being in prison? Yeah. I don't know. Society. It's a tendency of a convicted criminal to oh, it's the opposite. Okay. It's the opposite of what I thought it meant. It's the rate that people return. Okay, I see. To be convicted once again. It's all about the system, man. I'm sure there are people that, like, you know, they got arrested in their, like, 20s and then they were in prison for 50 years and then they get out and they're just like, it kind of sucks here, and then they just commit crime to go back to prison because that's the only life they've known. Isn't that sad to think about? Because, like, you know, you try to integrate with society and then you're like, I can't really... My entire life has been in prison. I don't even know what it's like. And then they're just like, maybe it's better back there. And then they go back. The US has a terrible rate of returning to prison, which makes sense. It's disturbing to say, but U.S. prison labor feels like a loophole for slave labor. Yeah, that's a thing that many people say. It's the fact that they make prisoners do work and then pay them like nothing. Pay them like $2 an hour or something like that. I don't know. They treat people like criminals and then we don't understand when they continue to act like criminals. Yeah, classic society. Society moment. Hey, you know what I just noticed? Doesn't this rock kind of look like the Heavy from TF2? Are you seeing this? If this thing right there is the nose, but my hand is shaking so much. If this thing right here that I'm pointing is the nose, and then that's like the eye, and this is like his bald head. It's like his mouth is over there. Do you see this? The TF2 Heavy. With this shape right here. Kind of see face, right? Yeah, it is. Kind of. It's true. It says a lot about society, but in a more meta sense. You can absolutely get culture shock just like going to a different country. Yo, imagine going to prison in like a different country. And like, you know, you don't even know what life is normally in that country. And then you go to prison and you're like, what the heck? I don't know. What the heck? The Heavy from TF2? How is that guy so heavy? No, it's the heavy weapons guy. It's not because he's heavy, it's because his weapon is heavy. We never actually banned slavery in the US, we only banned slavery outside of punishment for crimes. True. Oh, that America. Number of criminals. People out there just doing things. Labor for the prisons. I should cook something. Any suggestions? What is bro cooking, Lamau? That's what the kids say, right? Yo, he's cooking. Yo, what is bro cooking, Lamau? I don't know. What about food? What about curry? What about curry udon? What about chicken tikka masala? What about this thing? Lemon squares. No, lemon squares. No, they're lemon shaped. They're not square. That's silly. Imagine if lemons were square. Can't happen. It's literally impossible. I made a tuna steak? Yes, tuna. What is a tuna steak? Why I can't talk. Why are things called steak? You know how like there's chicken fried steak? Tuna steak? Is steak just like a way to prepare meat? It's not necessarily like beef. It's a shape? What the heck? Is that true? Is that real? It is. Chicken fried steak. Oh yeah, it is actually a steak. You're right. That is true. Why is it called chicken fried steak? Is there even any chicken in chicken fried steak? Lemon squares seem easy to make. I guess I'll make some next sleep cycle. What is steak? No, steak. High quality beef taken from the hindquarters of the animal. No, a thick cut of beef or other high quality meat or fish. What about low quality meat or fish? Does steak inherently have to be? Why is high quality in the definition? Some of there's a salmon steak, poorer quality beef that is cubed or ground and cooked more slowly by braising or stewing. Now, isn't this kind of messed up that they have two definitions? A thick slice of beef or other high quality meat, or poorer quality beef that is cubed or ground. How can it mean both things? How can you have steak meaning high quality or poor quality? What about medium quality? Similar sounding word. Steak is sometimes confused with steak, the other kind of steak. Culinary term. I think it was a mistake. Am I right, guys? Words sounding similar. Classic. Namai says, I want a cheesesteak, but it's just a big chunk of cheese. Cheesesteak. Cheese steak. Philadelphia cheese steak. Did you know vegetable doesn't exist? It's only a culinary term. Celery is a stalk, not a vegetable. No. That's not true. Vegetable. A plant or part of a plant used as food. Yes. Or a person with a very dull or inactive life. Yes. Vegetable. 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 It's an edible part of a plant. Bananas are vegetables. Cashews are vegetables. What's not a vegetable? I don't know why steak is called steak, but I know hamburgers are called hamburgers because they were originally based off of Hamburg steaks. Yes. They are in fact named after the location. A fruit is a vegetable by that definition. A plant or part of a plant used as food. Is that real? Is that even for real? Ground steak is hamburger. What about sky steak? What about water steak? It's always about that ground steak. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just fishing. Earth steak. Grounded steak. Hey, do you think when cows don't do their chores, they get ground? I don't know. Yeah, you know, jokes. You imagine Streamer made a joke about being grounded. Ground steak. That's different. Streamer, that's different. Ground steak, grounded steak. This is different. It's a different thing. Thank you. Sometimes I make jokes on this stream. Sometimes, you know, I'm out here. I'm just like, what if joke? CNN.com. There's actually no such thing as vegetables. Here's why you should eat them anyway. No, I think they're real. Hey, do you see the CNN article about the boy in a hot air balloon that's flying away right now? Watch live right now. Boy flies away in hot air balloon. It's real. You see it retweeted every few months, and you think it's live because it says live. CNN. Boy flies away in hot air balloon. Tweet. 2009. It's a thing that happened in 2009. See this tweet. Everyone retweets this. Breaking news. A 6-year-old boy is floating away in a hot air balloon. Watch live. It gets retweeted every few months. And people think it's happening right now. But then if they don't look, they don't notice it's from 2009. If you joke you're canceled, Waffles is canceled. What are you talking about? I didn't get the memo, but jokes are not. According to who? How are jokes illegal? Tweets don't matter. It's true. What's the best joke? If you ever heard a joke and thought this is a good joke. Nobody wants to read about the 22-year-old carried away by a hot air balloon. Oh yeah, wait, I guess this 6-year-old boy would now be 15 years older than this. Did I say 50? 15? 15 years old. Twitter isn't real. Well, Twitter isn't even real anymore. It's X now. But it was Twitter. So, like, at the time this tweet was made, it was a tweet. But now it's not a tweet. Explain that. Wasn't he not actually in the balloon? That's what many of these articles are saying, though. 6-year-old Colorado boy found alive in attic after balloon. Authorities, balloon boy incident was a hoax. But do you believe that, though? Do you believe CNN.com? Or was it real? Balloon boy hoax. Dang. He got doxxed. Richard Heen and Mayumi Izuka met at an acting school and married. I have no context because I didn't read the start of the article. I don't know what they're talking about here. It's a balloon boy cover. Yeah, he could still be up there. You ever think that the 6-year-old balloon boy could still be up there? And he's like 21 now? The open question is whether the family knew. But I don't really think they knew. I think the kid was just being a butt. Classic child. Out there. CNN status 4892. That's literally the tweet that I have open. Why did you link the tweet that I had open? Is it so that other people can see this tweet? The family was convicted of something, but it was overturned. Dang. Imagine being an accomplice. People often getting fooled by this CNN tweet. It's like they should do something about it. This boy's been stuck in the hot air balloon for 15 years and no one thought to help him. It's messed up, man. They were like fined at some point. I sure hope they did find him. Cause like, you know, if he wasn't found, he'd still be up there. If you try to retweet it without reading it, X gives you a pop-up asking if you want to read it. Oh yeah, that is a thing. But like, you can't though. This link isn't even clickable. Can't even click this link. It's like so old that people had to like... Look, they don't even have... This was so old, they didn't even have HTTPS on their website. Can you imagine this? If people had to like go here on an insecure protocol, just regular HTTP, someone could have been fooled. Someone could have been lied to. They could have tried to go to http://www.cnn.com/live, and they could have been spoofed. It could have gone elsewhere. No, yeah, fine. I sure hope they found him. Thank you, Electro, for the gifted sub to Delicious Smile. Up, the 2009 film. 2009 release, coincident? Yeah, Updog. That's where they had Updog. Haven't seen Dot Level in a while. No, they've streamed. I've seen their stream recently. Literally like 2 days ago. Anyway, what's going on out there in society? Y'all see the Dodgers game with Hololive? That was like last week, but I haven't had a chatting stream since then, so I couldn't talk about it. Yeah, they're literally streaming right now. They had a drone show. Have you ever seen a drone show? I didn't even know they could do that. It was kind of fancy. They had like things going around. They had the virtual fireworks that were not actually fireworks. They were playing Hololive music, etc. Let's see, I mean, I stopped following them. It was so long ago, I forget why, but I have strict standards, and they did not even adhere to these standards. Say I want to see one someday. NYC should get them. Would you go? Like, I don't think I would. I feel like it seems like a drone show could be cool, but I'm totally fine seeing it in a recorded video. That's just how it is. Also, okay, so like, do you all like seeing fireworks in person? Because I was talking about this with like my coworkers. Some of them, like during the July 4th weekend, they were like, hey, I'm gonna go see fireworks, etc. It was like, they asked me like, do you see fireworks in the weekend? And I was like, not really. I heard them though. People were setting them off illegally, you know, as they tend to do. Sometimes it was like 2 a.m. on July 5th and people were still setting them off. And then I was just like, I don't know, I'm not too interested in like going out there to see fireworks. Cause like to me, they're all very similar. You see it once and then it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. My coworkers kind of felt the same way. They were like, one of my coworkers talking about how he went to like a fireworks show one time. And then he was like, it was just really crowded and it's like really hard to get out of there because like everyone was crowding in. And he was like, yeah, it was cool to go to once, but I don't think I would do it again. And I have the same kind of thing. Like, you know, I've seen it before. What really could they do differently, right? And novelty. Did I welcome Slime Molder? I don't think I did. I'm not sure if I did. Welcome. Electro doesn't care about fireworks anymore. Did when they were 12. Classic situation. Crave it. Yeah, like novelty. Cause like, I don't know, like what would they really do differently? You've seen it once, you've seen many of them. Maybe they got something. Did you see that? That's a wolf? Is that a fox? It's totally like a creature running around in the darkness right there. Fireworks are best when you blow them up yourself. That is true. Hey, do you know that I saw a tweet that was like, hey, look up the after July 4th, look up the rate of fireworks related incidents to find out who was partying the hardest. And then you look at like which states had the most fireworks related injuries. And it's also a look at the air quality alerts on July 5th to see which places set off the most fireworks. We have that during New Year's. True. Who is the most drunk? I don't even know. I didn't actually look at the map. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I actually do think like every country sets off fireworks on the New Year's, right? Maybe not every country, but like so many of them do. Do you think that contributes significantly to like air pollution like around the world? Do you think like January 1st has the worst air quality of all days of the year, like in all of the earth? Because everyone everywhere is setting off you know, fireworks. It isn't significant, but there's so many places doing it. California, because she's drinking a lot. Classic. Normal power plants are far worse. Maybe. Perhaps. It's like that thing where it's like companies want you to start using paper straws, even though there's many things that are contributing more pollution. Classic. That's life. Coal plants, coal, why would you do coal? Come on. Explain yourself. Coal plants emit the most radiation. Messed up. Someone should stop coal from doing this. Hasn't he learned? Pollution's not even good. But yeah, that was a thing. Ham. No, we're talking about a chat member named Cole. This is an inside joke on the Wolfie stream. Where we know the names of chat members. He didn't even know Ham has been here for several minutes. Several dozens of minutes. Several dozens. And I totally greeted him as well. Anyway, you know what's cool? I beat Elden Ring. 2 days ago on Sunday. Wait, was it 2 days ago? Or was it 3 days ago? I think it was 3 days ago. I beat Elden Ring on Monday. Elden Ring cannot be beaten. I beat Elden Ring. I mean, I didn't beat the hardest boss pre-DLC. You know, I fought Millennia and I was like, you know what? I don't feel like doing this right now. And then I just went and fought the last boss. And then after some time, I beat the last boss, and I'm like, yo, let's go, finally. After 40-something hours of playing this game off-stream, I have beaten Elden Ring. And it is certainly a game that I enjoyed. Elden Ring cannot be beaten. You can only start a new game. If you don't start a new game, you lost. I've started many new games. This is my third new game. But it's not New Game Plus 3, but it's a regular New Game. I've only beaten it on one of those new games. Anyway, you know what I found out? Is that when I started that game, that run, I guess, I was building, like, I was following, not a guide, but like a build that's like, hey, you should use Glint Blade Phalanx or whatever. That's the thing that spawns 4 swords around you and it does significant stance damage. It's like, oh, that seems cool. Maybe I'll build my, you know, entire character around this. And you know what I found out? They nerfed that they nerfed that thing really bad. Like literally as I started the game. On the day after I started my build. Stance, I mean, no, it's stance. Look it up. Stance, it's a different thing. But I went through the entire game with that build and I'm like, this isn't as good as the video made it seem. Like, I'm not staggering enemies like at all. And I was like, why did the video look like he was doing so much better? And then like I looked at the wiki and it was like, oh, everyone was like, rip to this, rip to this thing. It's like, so that's why this sucks. But anyway, I made it through the whole game except for the last boss with that ability, so it was fine. And then at the end, I was like, you know what if I just respec my character to a build that doesn't suck? And then I did. And then I beat the game. Yeah, stance is different. Welcome Nanodan. He says inner strength. No, it used to be inner strength, but now it's inner int. That's my final. It was a Moonlight Greatsword build. Classic overused build. At the end of it, I was like, you know what? I did Ronnie's quest. I have this sword. I might as well use it. And then I did. Actually, I have it recorded. Let me show you my cool run that I had. You'll be like, whoa, look at this. Look at that last boss. What's it called? youtube.com/Wolfington. Her quest was cool. I don't know how I would have figured that out if I didn't follow a guide. Okay, playlists, Elden Ring. That's right, all of these videos are here. Literally all of them. They've all been recorded. Elden Ring playthrough. So handy to have your run saved. Yeah, I was streaming them. I was streaming them to an unlisted stream. You can watch all of my losses. You can watch me fail at Radagon for like 5 hours before I switch my build and then I continued to fail. Okay, this is where I won the game. this thing right here. Okay, this is when I fought Radagon. I had the Moonlight Greatsword. I started using Carrion Slicer. I just started spamming that thing because it does a lot of damage. Yeah, 5 hours. Can you believe this guy spent 5 hours fighting this guy? It's because my build sucked. It was not a good build. It did, the stance damage was nerfed. Anyway, I fought Elden. You know that you can use a horse on Elden Beast now? I was like watching videos and I was like, why do none of these people use the horse on Elden Beast? Apparently they added that in the recent update. And they're like, oh, this game feels like it was meant to. Yeah, you can do it now. You can use the horse now. You couldn't do it before, like, the recent patch. But I did it. My computer started lagging. I think it was, like, so hot. At some point, my OBS was, like, freezing up. And that caused me to die in one of these runs. But this one... Oh, my horse died. But then at the end of it, I had 1 flask left, and I revived my horse just at the ending. Check this. Check out how cool this is. Right here, I think my horse dies, right? I got knocked off the horse, and then I staggered the boss, and I'm like, this is my revenge. I'm gonna get revenge for this horse. Staggered the boss many times. Look at this Dark Moon Greatsword. And look at how much it's lagging. Start stabbing the ground. Classic. And then... like 2 hits from now you get staggered, and then you know you can get many hits off while it's staggered. So I did that. I did 2 extra hits, and then I did the final kill. And then I was like, I have a flask left. Let me resurrect my horse, you know, because you spend the whole game with your horse. Your horse is really your only friend in this game. Might as well have him around at the ending, huh? It's the horse. Saved us. Anyway, that was it. It was a cool game. Yeah, lag in 2024. I also spent 200 hours on the game before the end. Wait, but like, what was your level? 200 hours. I think I was like level 122 at the end. And I didn't really explore. I kind of just did everything that was like the main story or whatever. There's a tedious fight since you spend the entire time chasing the thing on foot. Yeah. It was not fun. Chasing Elden Beast kind of sucked. I first tried... oh man, my voice. I gotta clear my voice. I cleared my throat. First tried the final boss. It was easy. The Elden Beast. How does Elden Ring rank among the games Wolfie has played? I think it's pretty good. I feel like I didn't enjoy the open world aspect of it. I just like to like go, you know, it's just like find out where I have to go and then I just go there. If I had to like manually like solve all this stuff on my own, not a fan. Open world is, yeah, it's pretty slow. You can go somewhere and be like, oh, what's this? And then you go in there, you spend like an hour. It's like another like dungeon with chariot enemies, and it's like, I don't want to be here. Kind of liked it since I basically played until I got my fill and then mainline from there. That's usually how open world games go. It's kind of just like you play enough of it and then you're like, oh, I've been playing this for like 70 hours. I kind of want to finish the game. And then you just look up exactly where to go. And then you finish the game. Yeah, it's kind of mad. That chariot bosses... Not bosses, the chariot enemies. You know what I've been recommended a lot on YouTube though? You know those videos of like people modding Elden Ring and it's like, oh, what if we had 50 soldiers of Godric fight every boss? I've been recommended a lot of those, and I do watch them because it's like, it's kind of fun. You're like, oh, how can these 50 soldiers of Godric kill Millennia? How can these 50 soldiers of Godric kill Godric? And then they do. Zelda open world, Elden Ring open world, Red Dead Redemption 2. One of my coworkers also asked me about Elden Ring. He was like, oh, what's your opinion on open world games? I love them. I love playing Red Dead Redemption. And I'm like, yeah, I think you would enjoy Elden Ring. And then he bought Elden Ring. But he has not yet played it. He was too busy playing Age of Empires. I say, Namai didn't finish Elden Ring or Zelda. I always fall off. See, that's what happened to me the first time I played Elden Ring. I played for many hours. And I was like, this world is too big. I thought I explored like, I pretty much explored all of the starting area and also a lot of Caelid. And then I was like 20 hours in. And then I got to Liurnia of the Lakes and I was like, this kind of sucks. I don't know where to go. And then I just quit. It's kind of exhausting, right? Exactly. Did I stream when I first played it? I did it the same way. I played it quote-unquote off-stream, and by off-stream I mean I played it on an unlisted YouTube stream. So my first playthrough is recorded. Just a lot of me running around doing things. Welcome, Cast Channel. Elden Ring, but can Mr. Elden Ring survive a tummy ache? Probably. Different people like different things. I can't stop with open worlds, but I can't stand linear games. Everyone's different. I feel like my opinion has changed over the years. A long time ago, I would have loved open world. But now, I need, like... I don't know. I don't like having too many options on where to go. It's like, it's fun for a while, but then... It's like, it's too long. Also, they reuse a lot of bosses, you know? A lot of dungeons are the same. You fight, like, Estelle at one place, and then you're like, you just go to a random dungeon, it's like, look at this, it's Estelle again. But he's, like, in a dungeon for some reason. I was like, look, it's the cat statues. Oh, look, it's the, I don't know. Other enemy that's been reused 50 times. Slide Molder prefers Bloodborne or other focus games. Yeah, if Bloodborne ever comes to PC, Copium, I will play it. Prefer good content over much content. The smallish diorama design of Dark Souls 1 is exactly what I want. Yeah, I feel like Dark Souls 1 is like... Of all the Souls games I've played, I still think Dark Souls 1 is my favorite. It's just really nice. The combat is also slower, which I think is better for me as a person who doesn't have good reaction speed. As someone who plays through OBS and, you know, can't react that fast. The artistic touch. Nanodan says, I love Souls games, but I always fall off open world games, so I'm worried. Yeah, if you're gonna play Elden Ring, I recommend just like looking up where to go. If you have like a build in mind, just look up where to get the items you need for the build. That's what I did. And I thought it was nice. Dark Souls, Mushroom versus Ornstein and Smo. Exactly. There was one that was like every Elden Ring boss versus 10 balls. You know those balls in Souls game that just fall on you and you take like a lot of damage and die? They had one of those. The ball would just be rolling toward the boss. It would just crush the boss. The boss would just die. Yeah, ballin'. Let's see, the point of doing different things in Elden Ring is to get new loot, not to see new enemies. Yeah, but like, you know, it would be nice to see new enemies. Dark Souls 1 is good, Dark Souls 3 may be better overall. I think Dark Souls 3 has better, like, I don't know, like the what was it called? It's more polished, I guess, but I prefer Dark Souls 1 still. Bloodborne, yeah, Bloodborne on PC. Have I tried Armored Core? I have not. I also don't think I would enjoy it. I've seen people play it and I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's for me. If I want fast combat, I'll play a fighting game or DMC. Yeah, I also feel like the complaint about Dark Souls 3 is that it's too fast. The bosses are just like, they go so fast. Remember when we used to think Artorias was fast? Artorias was the speed demon. And now every enemy is faster than Artorias. Styler loves Souls games, but Elden Ring didn't really click. Yeah, that's how it is. Dark Souls 1 has charm. It's true. It's true. What I find stranger is Genshin Impact didn't click for me, yet Breath of the Wild is my second favorite Zelda game. I don't think it's strange that that Genshin Impact doesn't click, because it is like a gacha game after all. There's a lot of things about it that are not the same as Zelda, even though exploration is similar. You got like stats, you got dungeons. I know Stanley. I was about to get to it. How do I feel about Dark Souls 2 versus 3? I did enjoy 3 more than 2. However, I feel like 2 is more memorable. When I watch streamers play Dark Souls 2, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this place. When I watch Dark Souls 3, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is the area from Dark Souls 1. Like 3, a lot of Dark Souls 3's identity is just like, hey, remember this part about Dark Souls 1? Well, here it is again. Wow, look at this. It's the same place, but you get to see it again. But it's different now. But Dark Souls 2 was like, had a lot of memorable areas. Anyway, I'm gonna hydrate. It is 7 p.m. Alright, I've hydrated. Nameless King. I had no difficulty with Nameless King. I think it's because I fought him as like my last boss. I was like, it was a bit overhyped to me. I was like, well, what the people are saying Nameless King is the hardest boss. I was probably overleveled though. Probably also the fact that I had like a really big weapon that could hit him like when he was in the sky made it really easy. A lot of people are like, the camera is the worst enemy in the Nameless King fight. No, I had no problems. I think I beat him second try. But it's probably because of my build. Probably because I was like really over leveled, probably because he was the last boss I fought. I don't know. Let's see. Tag Bro says, I'm tired of the rolling sword slices. Wish I could get over it and enjoy Tunic, but I can't anymore. But rolling sword slices, Tunic, that's a different game. Nanodan says, do not take free-to-play games seriously. What about that new ZZZ game? A lot of people have been playing Zenless Zone Zero. Even people I didn't expect to play it. I'm like, what the heck? This streamer's playing it as not an ad. They're not being sponsored to play this. They're just playing it. That's strange. I don't know. I think the animations were good, right? Remember those cutscenes they showed? And they were like, oh, look at this animation quality. It's great. See, Zoli said Genshin is, I think you need the right mindset for Genshin exploration to work. I enjoyed Genshin when I played it at the start. I liked the exploration, but then eventually I was like, yeah, doing the grinding kind of sucks. Doing the same thing, doing my daily quest, using my stamina, it sucks. Dark Souls 3 has Snow City, then turns out to be a Dark Souls 1 referencer. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 did not have too much originality. Mechanically, Breath of the Wild and Genshin are similar, but the progression couldn't be any more different. Yes, exactly. Because Genshin had like a main storyline. Zelda, you could just go anywhere. Genshin is like, you have to go here. You have to do this quest if you want to proceed. Go to this location, talk to this NPC, do this thing. Genshin. Dark Souls 2 was a different team. Yes. So true. Intrinsically motivated. Nameless King is stupid hard as a dex build. Oh, I see. That maybe that's what your problem was. Maybe it was easy for me because I was a strength build. A large weapon has very good reach. Tabbarrel got Diablo. What about Diablo Remastered? Potato said, I definitely started feeling that way when I was getting toward the end of Tunic. Ended up brute forcing it with bombs and DPSing down bosses. Yeah. Actually, you know what I noticed about Tunic? The part of the game that I'm at right now, I think a lot of people gave up at that part. I know Zoe did. I remember when I was initially reading Steam reviews for Tunic, there's like one guy who was like, oh, I'm up to this part of the game. I totally just gave up because this part sucks. And I feel like a lot of people probably get the same impression. They're like, I don't want to do this. This freaking sucks. And I can understand, because it's like, it feels too different from the rest of the game, you know? When open world, I know Tunic isn't necessarily open world, but it's like, you can go many places. Same thing for like open world games. You can kind of go anywhere. But then like at some point they force you to go down like one specific path. And that's when, you know, when some people are like, this isn't the same game. What the heck is this? What do you mean I have to go here? I have to do this thing? I can't even explore and do this thing? I don't even know. I remember it. It wasn't because of your build, it's because you're built different. No, I think it was my build. I think it was because I was using the Fume Ultra Greatsword. And I could attack the boss in the sky. Welcome, Ranmu. Gacha games don't work for me. I'm not an addict though. It's true. Gacha games, I don't know if I'll ever get into a gacha game ever again. That's just how it is. Dark Souls 3 has originality, but it's also in the same universe as 1, so it can only drift so far. I mean, it didn't have to go so hard on the references, you know? You can exist in the same world as Dark Souls 1, but still be, you know, show different places. Also, welcome, Problems Not Jack. Yeah, Breath of the Wild exploration was the main quest. Diablo Remaster. Breath of the Wild was like do random stuff to get stronger, naturally get confident enough to take on the big bad. I think a problem with Breath of the Wild though was also that like after a while a lot of the exploration was kind of like it felt a bit hollow in the sense that, you know, all you do is you find shrines, you do puzzles, but then like the rewards for those aren't usually that good. It's like a temporary item. The fact that all your items could break besides one of them, kind of like at some point you're like, why do I even... Well, like I beat this dungeon, I get this thing. You know, I explore, I find this cool chest, it has like a good sword in it. But then you can only use that sword for like 5 minutes before like it breaks. So it's like... And then like you could find Korok seeds, but then it's like... I don't know, like what's really the point of that? That's, you know, that's how it is. Let's see, you're kind of at a part of the game where you're locked in, but does it open up once you get past this? Yeah. I thought I could explore more. Zoe got so lost in Tunic that he did 3 bosses in reverse order. And that's the thing, is that you could simply do it in any order. The world is open. Ring City wasn't in Dark Souls 1. I think Ring City was good in Dark Souls 3. It's cool. I feel like the DLC is like the best part of a lot of Souls games. Genshin rewards are a tad better, but it's really not the same. Genshin puzzles are complicated at times, just a completely different vibe. I don't even remember Genshin puzzles. I remember they had like flying quests, or like gliding quests. You have to like glide between like certain rings that were in the sky. That's like the only thing I remember about that game. Besides like exploration and combat. I don't remember the puzzles. Koroxis are permanent upgrades. That is true. But also, I don't know. See, Nanodan says, most of the time my inventory was full even with Koroxi upgrades, so finding new weapons sucked even more. Bro, I already have. Yeah, imagine like when you play Breath of the Wild and you're like, you do like a complicated dungeon or whatever. And then like the reward at the end, I mean besides like the HP upgrade or whatever. It's like, oh, look at this item. Wow, that item would have been nice like, you know, 20 hours ago, but now all my weapons are already better than this. So then you just leave it there. You never use it. DLC always good in FromSoft? Well, except for, one of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs wasn't that good. The winter one, Dark Souls 2, the snow place, kind of sucked, but the other DLCs were nice. Okay, Sunken Temple was also kind of sucked. Was also kind of sucked. But the fire one was nice. Welcome, Bobatron. Yeah, video gaming. Video gaming. Video games. Dark Souls 2 I never finished. Yeah. I find it surprising how many people skip Dark Souls 2. I feel like it happens so often. Like, a lot of streamers that I watch that play Dark Souls 1, they're just like, oh, I'm done with Dark Souls 1, and then they just move on to Dark Souls 3. They're like, they don't even try Dark Souls 2. Probably just because, you know, they hear everyone say how much it sucks. But, like, you know, I had to do it in order. And I had to be like, well, you know, I'm sure it sucks, but surely it can't suck as much as people say it does. And then I played, and I'm like, oh, I get it. But then I finished it. I went through with it. And now I know. Well, if he wants to share the fan. I feel like after playing Dark Souls 2, I enjoy watching Dark Souls 2 more than I enjoy watching Dark Souls 3. Just something about it. The areas are more memorable. You know, than the streamer is like... You know, there's more challenges because of how bad how bad the game is. It's more fun to watch, yeah. It's like, you know, if like I've been through it and I'm like, oh, I know this part sucks. And then when the streamer gets there, they're like, this place sucks, and then you could be like, I know, I've done it. I can relate to this. And then when they do beat it, you're like, let's go finally. It's so bad it's harder. Yeah. I don't know. You know what's cool about when people stream Souls games is when the streamer doesn't care about, you know how like there's this whole mindset of like, if you use summons you didn't really beat the game, if you used Spirit Ashes in Elden Ring you didn't really beat the game or whatever. I like when streamers don't care about that and they just summon for the game. Because then, like, if you're a viewer, you could be like, yo, they're summoning, I'm, like, at this part of the game. Let me, like, you know, put down my summon sign, and then, you know, you could be part of the stream. I think that's cool. Summons are part of the mechanics, yeah, but some people, they think it's not real. They think if you beat the game without summons, it's not real. What's the worst game I've streamed and or would be willing to stream? It probably was just some obscure itch.io game that was not that good. Now, I don't remember which one exactly, but I'm sure it's one of those. But as far as, like, non-itch.io game, the worst game that I've streamed, I don't know. We can go through the list of games I've streamed. There was that one about, like, the fox running around in the afterlife or something. I didn't really enjoy that one. That was a game. Styler enjoys Dark Souls 2. I think I enjoy it more now after having played Dark Souls 3. This is a thing that Nanodan says as well. That, like, you enjoy how different Dark Souls 2 is after having played the third one. It's like, you know, it's kind of quirky. They do very experimental things in that game. And it's like, it's a bit of a change. Every way to beat Dark Souls is legit except clearing Blighttown in double-digit frame rates. You didn't really beat Dark Souls if you played Remastered. You could actually see Blighttown and move around. Anyway, when I played Elden Ring, I didn't use summons, but I don't mind when other people do. Actually, I didn't use any Spirit Ashes or summons. Except for when I fought Radahn, because I feel like that's the intended way to fight Radahn. You know, they have the summons directly in the arena, you know? It's like a big epic boss battle. Yeah, you got like 5 different guys helping you out. I'm like, how can you not summon these guys? Yeah, right? You're depriving them of the ability to fight in the festival. He's always said, speaking of, since you didn't buy anything during the Steam sale, do you have the games you want to play on stream until the end of the year locked in? I don't at all. I don't know what I'm streaming. But there's also, oh, I have Lottlnot. That's a game. Actually, I have no more games on Steam, I think. I think I've played all, except like some of these fine hidden object games. Just everything here is like, I don't have any. I don't have any games. Maybe I should buy some games. I don't know what to buy though. It really gives it that raid boss feel. Yeah, Radahn was pretty cool. Electro summoned a few, but also first tried. Dang. He's too good. He's too good at the game. Exploring. Actually getting items. Actually fighting optional bosses and getting runes from the bosses to be able to level up. Time to play oldies from GOG. Maybe. I don't know what games to buy though. Like, what do I even want? League of Legends? No. I would never stream League of Legends. If I ever stream League of Legends, something is seriously wrong. It will never happen. But if you, one day, you're like, what the? Wolfie's streaming League of Legends, what the heck is this? You gotta be like, Wolfie, are you okay? Did your account get hacked? You get possessed by someone. The only experimental mechanic I didn't like in Dark Souls 2 was soul memory. I didn't like how when you die, you lose your max HP. That part sucked. Because like, you're expected to die. Why make it even harder, right? You either had to put on that ring that caps your total HP loss, or you had to keep using items. It's kind of weird. Also, the fact that like soul gems are a thing mean you pretty much have infinite heals. And soul gems are really cheap. Is there a person that could talk you into a League of Legends collab? I don't think so. I highly doubt that it would ever happen. Ever. Because then it would be like, why did they want to play League of Legends? Do I want to like collab with someone that willingly wants to play League of Legends and also ask someone else to do it with them, you know? To inflict suffering on yourself by playing League of Legends, that's one thing. But to ask someone else to do it with you, I don't know, that's a bit much. Everything old is also dirt cheap. Okay, what are some games I should buy on Steam? Losing max HP was part of Demon Souls. In that game, getting full health meant you open yourself up to invasions, which made sense. I don't know. I don't like losing max HP. Technically, every Souls game does that. They just frame humanity and embers as an HP bonus instead of removing a penalty. I guess that is true. So true. Clipping this and sending to 2 other VTubers that made me play League. You played League? I don't remember. Was this before I started watching you? Was it on someone else's stream? Check out the Steam Summer Sale. Well, yeah, that's where this whole thing came up. Is that I didn't buy anything in the summer sale, and I'm like, I don't know what to buy. There's nothing that even interests me. In German, we have an idiom, shared suffering is half the suffering. That's also an idiom in English. It's also a thing that we say. I forget the exact catchphrase. Void Stranger. Isn't that game, like, really long? I feel like I've seen someone stream Void Stranger, and then, like, months later, they're still streaming it. Katamari. I played a Katamari game like a long time ago. I think it made me motion sick. I couldn't play it for very long without feeling dizzy for some reason. I could see Colony Sim being Wolfie Core. They do have a sleep learning curve. Yeah, there was a time when I used to stream RimWorld, but I got really addicted to that game. But I don't think I would stream it again. It's too much. Misery enjoys company. No, I think there was like... Am I mistaking this? Am I like thinking of like a translated thing? English idiom shared suffering half. Oops, what the heck just happened? No, this isn't what I'm thinking of. A sorrow shared. Oh wait, this is a common proverb in Western Europe. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of like the a translated thing. A Swedish proverb. Shared joy is double joy. Shared sorrow is... Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking. I guess it's a Swedish thing. I guess it was translated. VR doesn't make you motion sick, but Katamari... It does. VR does make me motion sick. That's why you always see me playing this game where I don't... where I don't move around that much. If you'll notice, the thing about this VR game is that I'm mostly stationary. Things aren't moving around me. That's why this is the only VR game I play. How about the Bun Burrows? I guess I could buy that. If it's on sale, I could buy it. Nanodan never streamed League. Good. Good. How long to beat says it's 61 per completionist? Yeah, Void Stranger. 61 hours, that's too much. Did I hear about Shrek 5 and Toy Story 5? I did, but I never really watched past the first Shrek movie or the second Toy Story movie, so I don't really know. I don't know, man. Momodora was a Souls-like thing. I've seen that game. I don't know. I should perhaps note things. Games to buy. Shrek 2 is dope. I do hear a lot of people saying Shrek 2 is like the best Shrek movie. I've only ever seen the first Shrek movie. And I thought Shrek 1 was also good. Stop it, Shrek 2. Shrek 2 was indeed the best. Yeah, I've never seen it, but many people do be saying this. I don't understand why Toy Story is still going, though. Like, didn't they say the third one will be the last one? Or it was, like, heavily implied that Toy Story 3 was the last one? Because, like, you know, like, Andy is grown up and, like, he gives his toys away and then they're like, hey, surprise! Fourth movie. And then people are like, okay, surely this is the last movie, right? There's no way there's gonna be even more. And then Toy Story 5, and they're like, what the frick? They're still making these? Shrek 2 was the best, Shrek 3 is bad, Shrek 4 is actually pretty good. What about Shrek 1? If Shrek 1, I thought Shrek 1 was already good. You're telling me everyone is saying Shrek 2 is even better. Wolfie should buy Insane Aquarium. Maybe I should. Isn't it like $1? I guess I could. I guess I could play it for like one stream. Electro said, I like money. Do you like money? I mean, I guess once you have enough money, it's like not really, what's the word for it? Like, you know, once you have enough money, having more money doesn't really matter that much. Once you are already financially secure, I think I like money, but I have no desire for even more money. Shrek with a 3. So Zoli said, I feel much more okay buying games on Steam now because I actually play games now. Dang. Yeah, you know, that's what streaming does. When you play games and you're streaming, you're like, hey, look at this, I have time to actually play these games. If I was not streaming, I probably would never have played Tunic. I probably would never have played, I don't know, Dark Souls, whatever. Many games I would never have played. All those Itch.io games, I never would have played any of those. NanoDan has $100 left in his account and $85 worth of games in his cart. I thought you said you weren't gonna buy things in the Steam sale. You're like, maybe I'll buy... Oh, I guess it was just Tunic. You're like, I don't want to buy Tunic this Steam sale. Toy Story makes money. It's true. Say 3 was so bad it's altered the public perception of 4. People assumed 4 was also bad. Like there was no way to recover. Shrek 4. What about the Puss in Boots movies? The spin-off of Shrek. Were those good? I heard like the most recent one was good, right? It had good animation. I don't know. Yeah, I never would have played Clubhouse 51. Welcome, Brooke. Played that game twice. I've only ever played that game twice. Good times. Yes, NanoDan. You did in fact say that you would not buy Tunic this Steam sale. And then I was like, what do you mean this Steam sale? Or like, no, you said maybe for next Steam sale. And I was like, what about this Steam sale? What about this one? Snakebird. I did see Snakebird. I am aware of that. I heard that game is really hard. Yes, we were talking about Shrek 5 and Toy Story 5. Minions movies. Puss in Boots 1 was decent, but then 2 just popped off. Was it just alright? I don't even know. What if they made a Shrek spin-off movie about Donkey? I'm surprised they haven't already done that. You know, like every TV show / movie makes spin-offs about the secondary characters. What about a Donkey movie? Donkey and Dragon just going off on adventures in, you know, whatever the forest is. Just out there, you know? What about a Shrek spin-off about, the Gingerbread Man? What about, a Shrek spin-off about... What other characters even are there? I don't even know. Bought some games during stream sale. So true. Donkey. When you realize a donkey impregnated a dragon. So true. How did that happen? Is copyright infringement on Guy Fieri show? Triple D? What is Guy Fieri doing nowadays anyway? Is he still doing things? Is he still out there? Oh, diners, drive-ins, and dives. True, that's what that is. That's what you were referencing. I know that show. I've never watched it, but I am aware of it. Guy's Grocery Games. He's probably still looking like a a-hole. What does that mean? I thought, didn't Guy Fieri be revealed to be actually like a decent guy? He like donates to charity a lot or something. I don't really know. Yeah. He is in fact a guy. That is literally his name. One of the guys of all time. He just looks like he's perma-stuck in the 80s. Wandering the country, leaving his phylacteries in each... What is that? What does that word mean? People who donate to charity tend to do that for good boy points. Yeah. But hey, they're doing it. They're doing it more than a lot of people are doing. For the tax breaks. It means he's undead. Phylacteries. His summon sign, perhaps. Guy Fieri, the Flavor Lich, forever living as long as his plaques remain. Yeah, the fragment. They split Guy Fieri into many fragments, spread across the land. He will never die. Oh, that's literally what it is. Phylacteries are the thing that makes you immortal, like Voldemort. I see. Oh, like what is it called? The Horcruxes, or whatever? What's that eel? I never really followed Harry Potter after the 4th book. It's probably a good idea, you know, due to how things have gone. Anyway, what else is going on out there? Anything else of interest? I feel like I haven't done a chatting stream in a long time. Right? Despite the fact that I streamed a lot last week, I didn't do like the usual Friday stream because I played... What did I do? I played City Guesser on Friday. And then like Thursday we had Cocoon. Saturday we just did Variety. So it's been like a whole week since the last chatting stream. Last Wednesday. And then, you know, like on Mondays I do Tunic. That's not really a chatting game. Surely a lot of things have happened. You're like, Wolfie, do you see this thing happen? This thing happened. These VTubers are streaming. Nothing, literally nothing happened. Nothing ever happened in this world. I am in fact enjoying Tunic. What about games? No, we've already been talking about games. What about what is this? What is Mozilla world-class multitasking? Picture-in-picture. In Firefox, it's literally, they've added new functionality to Firefox. Tunic seems fun. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool as far as games go. Start work at 8 AM. That's pretty early. Picture-in-picture was in Firefox for ages. Yeah, but like it just told me that it had it. They're advertising this as if it was a new feature. You've been playing Persona 4. It's true, I remember. I remember when you rated it, and I was like, what the? Persona? He is, in fact, streaming Persona. I've never played Persona. I don't know if I would enjoy it. Seems like a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of story, a lot of JRPG story things. And yet Firefox and Twitch don't work well together, at least not for me. Is that true? Do people, any Firefox users confirm that Twitch is bad on Firefox? Sully only plays Persona 4 in 20-minute bursts. That's like 5 minutes per Persona. That's 5 minutes per Sona. Get it? Per Sona, like for every Sona. Twitch is usable on Firefox. It's fine on my Firefox. Okay, maybe it's an issue with your specific setup, Styler. Started Code Vein. Isn't that the Souls-like game, but it's anime? I don't actually know. I've been getting a lot of clips of Cecilia Immergreen on my YouTube timeline, or my YouTube requested YouTube recommendations. That's what I meant. That's the word I'm looking for. And they're all good. Good clips. I thought Code Vein was mostly known for its character creator. I think it is, actually. I got all the achievements in Tunic. Congrats. Immergreen, so true. We already know. We already knew her potential as a streamer. Hilarious. It's the kind of thing where, like, you know, you're like, oh, this person is really funny. This person is a great streamer. And now people know. Now people realize how great streamers are. Hey, do you see V Shoujo is having open auditions now? You see that? You should apply. That's right, you, the streamer. That's right, you, the viewer. Does he know? Does he even know? Zoli is thinking of sniping a Mahjong set off eBay. What would you do with it? Do you have people to play Mahjong with, though? Do you know people in real life that know Mahjong? Let's see, for some reason it won't let me log on in Firefox or LibreWolf. Had to switch to Chromium-based browser Vivaldi. Vivaldi? What the heck? People are using that. Delicious Smile is using Vivaldi. Jogging in real life is a challenge. You have to remember all. Yeah, you also have to know like how the wall is set up. You have to know, like, you know, all those things that Mahjong Soul takes care of you, for you, is like, you know, marking the Dora, flipping over, setting aside some space for like the different Dora indicators. You have to like I don't even know what else there is. There's a lot of, and you have to remember what the Dora is. Some cons have Jong games, don't know Dokumi. I would assume they probably do. I would assume, you know, at an anime convention, there's probably like at least dozens of anime fans that know Mahjong. Possibly even hundreds. Thousands even. Billions. Literally everyone there knows Mahjong. Been using Vivaldi for a decade. Almost a decade. I didn't even know it existed. I mean, I did know it existed. I didn't know it existed 10 years ago. Is it Opera? Opera GX. Anyone actually use Opera GX? I always see them on Twitter, but like, I don't know. Does anyone use that browser? The gamer browser for gamers? Wow. You can advertise it to Final Fantasy XIV fans, Yakuza fans, and Kaiji fans. They exist. There are Kaiji fans out there. Netscape Explorer. Oh, here's something that I forgot to mention. You know how, like, I've been talking about... Well, I don't talk about this often, but I've talked about it before. How, like, my American Airlines miles are about to expire because, like, I don't take flights anymore. I got another email that's like, hey, they're going to expire in 3 months if you don't do something. So I was like, okay, what's, like, an easy way to like, get more miles? No, not, like, minimal effort thing. And then they were like, hey, if you go on this survey website, you can fill out a survey. You'll get, like, I don't know, 300 points just for filling out the survey. And I was like, okay, that seems pretty easy. I don't have to, like, buy anything. And then, like, I filled out a survey, and then I got my points. But there was, like, this one question that they had was like, which ISP do you use? And, like, going through that list, it was like, whoa, there's, like, a lot of, like, ISPs that I totally forgot about. Remember NetZero, people in the US? Back in the dial-up days, we used to use this thing called NetZero. It would show, like, ads. It was a free ISP. But they would have this thing that would show ads to you. That was on the survey. I was like, have you heard, do you still use these things? I was like, holy freaking NetZero, I didn't even know they still existed. AOL was around, at the $10 version, it was very slow. I feel like all ISPs were slow back then, though. Probably. Vivaldi launched in 2015. I see. Tried Opera GX, is kind of meh. I don't really know what the deal is with Opera GX. Showed release dates of up-and-coming games on the homepage. I feel like why is that built into the browser? Why, like, that kind of thing would just be like something you would set your homepage to, like, a web page that showed you release dates for games. Isn't that a dial-up? It is. Yeah, people apparently still use dial-up. Maybe someone just copied a list of ISPs from somewhere, didn't bother to check if they were active. I think it is still active, right? Is NetZero still around? Remember Juno? It is there. They still have a website. netzero.net. Wow, this website looks like it hasn't been updated in so long. This is definitely like old style internet. Services, internet access, Norton 360. Yeah, they only have dial-up. High speed what the frick? The price of dial-up is the same as like another, just like a regular ISP. Los Angeles mentioned. You're telling me the price of dial-up is $30 a month? And like you could get a similar thing for like an actual real internet? That surprises me. Hey, but you can get 10 free hours of dial-up per month. $30 is cheap. But there's an asterisk. This could be the promotional price. But also, like, it's cheap relative to, like, you know, regular internet. But, like, is the internet still usable on dial-up? From the sense that, like, everything is just... They just have, like, a lot of, I don't know. How are you gonna load a YouTube video on dial-up? How are you gonna load any web page that loads, like, 50 megabytes of content? Currently eyeing this set. The back is kind of ugly. It comes with 6. I don't know. High speed, do they mean high speed? What the heck is high speed? That's just what they call it. That's just what they do. That's the name of the service plan. Anyway, you could buy Mahjong. It does in fact say Los Angeles. Net zero for climate and people now. Oh, this is a different thing. It's not the ISP. Zero net emissions. Have I ever used Usenet? I have never used Usenet. I've never even used a net. Speed. I show speed. Remember that guy? Do you see that guy got assaulted in Poland or something? Did you see that little green wizard guy going around? Is that still the trending TikTok? That was last week. That was the trending TikTok of last week. Anyway, let me do connections and then I guess we'll end the stream. Because I gotta do connections. You have to do connections on a Wolfie stream. They have a hint? What the? Go to today's connections companion article if you're stuck on this puzzle? What the heck? Let's see. What do we got here? Bass Temple. Reminded of when you said that a sphinx looked like I Show Speed holding in a laugh is true. It is true. He does look like that. Okay, lens. Outlook. This is like a view. When you're a prospect and a forecast. What? Okay, it's probably not lens then. It's probably I don't know. I don't know. Prospect, forecast, outlook. The no, maybe it's not. Maybe they're trying to trick us. Chance? Is that true? Future likely. Oh, I see. Okay. Rim, Sky Rim, Sky Bridge, Sky Bass. Okay, pike, bass, fluke, and perch. These are types of fish. I know this because of Animal Crossing. And then you got bridge, parts of the face, the bridge of your nose, the cheek, the lip, and I don't know. Lens. Chanced. Okay, sass, attitude, cheek, and lip. Back tuck. Okay, temple, bridge, lens, rim. Temple run, bridge run, lens run, rim run. Sky rim, sky temple, sky bridge, sky lens. I don't know what this is. This is obviously glasses. The bridge of the glasses. The lens, the rim, the temple. I get it. I understand. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. Let's do a see what day it is. Send the rate somewhere. Yo, National Kitten Day. I feel like the word kitten has been ruined. Do you get this impression online, the word kitten? Especially like when you're talking about Discord. They ruined it. Okay, we got Don't Step on a Bee Day. We got National Caleb Day, Pizza Day in Brazil. True. National Stella Day, Wyoming Day, Pick Blueberries Day, Teddy Bear Picnic Day, Nikola Tesla's birthday, What? Karma Fizz's birthday? This adorable YouTube star has made a name for herself and her popularity continues. This is a baby. Is this a celebrity baby? Tomorrow's National Slurpee. Oh yeah, 7-Eleven. Okay, let's do National Pizza Day in Brazil. Right? National Pizza Day in Brazil raid. Okay, and then let's see who's streaming. So anyone going to 7? Oh yeah, I did get an article. Remember when I talked about how 7-Eleven is getting Japanese suppliers for things, and we were like, I can't find any info on this. I think I got like a video on YouTube about that. It's real. It's happening. It was by one of the news websites. I forget which one. One of them. Anyway, who do I want to raid today? There are many people streaming various things, but who shall I raid? Who do I want to send you all to? There are many people out here. What about one of these people? What about Takamura Takago, who is streaming Super Mario Sunshine? Everyone loves watching Super Mario Sunshine. You could also watch Essie, who is also streaming Super Mario Sunshine. But I've rated her recently, so I will not be rating her today. Anyway. That's gonna be it for today. I will be back on Friday with... What do I do on Fridays? Picross and Stitch. And then Saturday with various games. Which games? I don't even know. I only have 3 games left on Itch.io. End Step Steve 2, Celeste 64, and that one game that someone recommended. I don't know which one. But I gotta find more games to play. I'm gonna go buy some things in the Steam sale, perhaps, as I have no more games to play. That's it. We finished every game. Every game is done now. Can you believe Wolfie has finished every game? Literally there. Anyway, you get to watch me sit here, staring at my screen for like another 15 seconds perhaps. That raid is in fact gonna go very soon. Right now, I'm gonna stop talking. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.